Hello, wonderful female entrepreneurs. I'm Sabine Matharo, and I'm a business startup and growth strategist. And this video is entitled, Are you stuck with your niche, with determining your niche, or do you want to create an online course, an online program, and you want to launch that? So there's a few questions that I've had in my group, and I thought it may be really useful to talk about the three things and how it all kind of goes together. So do let me know in the chat what you are building right now. What is your passion? Who do you help? And perhaps you're not quite sure as to what it is that you are do, or not quite sure 100% who you're targeting. Because this is so much the foundation that you understand who you want to work with, how you serve your clients, and also what methodology are you going to use to deliver your program? So is it going to be an online course? Is it a one-to-one? Is it an offline course or coaching? What is it that you do? And it could be that you are in a stage where you're pivoting. So as we know, through the pandemic, a lot of coaches and consultants actually had to change the way they do things. And there's also been other people who obviously left the corporate job and they may be building a new business on the side. So do let me know. Are you in that camp? Are you a 9-to-5er who wants to leave a job and you want to become an online coach, a therapist, or a consultant, or you already are, and you now want to leverage your skill set and you want to monetize? We can talk all about course creation, and that's exactly what I do in my business. I love helping female entrepreneurs tapping into their passion and creating something that they can then sell and package up commercially so that it really is appealing to your target market. So that's why I've chosen to actually talk about number one, the niching, number two, how to create the course without having to spend months and months pre-recording. That would be the worst thing that you can do. Okay. And number three, how do you launch quickly? So very, very important. Everything I teach is what I do in my business as well. I used to be a terrible perfectionist. And if you think you've been a terrible perfectionist too, put in the comments perfectionist. What is a perfectionist? Well, a perfectionist thinks that they're never ready, that their stuff is not good enough. They need to wait. And people, and you may think people don't need what I'm offering, or who's going to listen to me. I need to have everything perfect and done, and I can't make any mistakes. So that's a perfectionist. And quite unfortunately, the perfectionist is the persona that is holding us back within ourselves. So that's the first thing I would say is whatever I want to tell you now in terms of how to go about and do your niching, your course, your launches. Ditch the perfectionist, because you will you will see some of the things like, I didn't realize that. I didn't realize that I don't need to have all my act together before I can serve and sell and make some big impact and big money. Okay. So again, is it something that I am doing already, that I've done for years, that I now teach in my Quantum Growth Academy to my amazing female entrepreneurs? Okay. So there's 3 points I want to kind of tell you as to how can you tap into the knowledge, or answers are within you. Basically, you just need to ask yourself a few questions. Okay. And by the way, if you would like more resources around this, I do have a free Facebook group called Launch and Grow Your Online Business. Feel free to hop in there, connect with me on Facebook. There is also a guide for those who are thinking, hey, I'd like to understand a bit more about Clubhouse. That's really going to help you in terms of visibility and building an audience. One of the points I'm going to discuss in a bit in terms of your launching, very important to have that together. I do have a free Clubhouse guide for you, which is the ultimate startup guide. And I know it's going to come into Android very soon. So hold tight. You'll be, I'll grab the guide. It's in the link somewhere above or below the video. Go and grab that guide so you can actually really get yourself set up properly, and so that you can actually monetize and launch, kind of on the platform on Clubhouse. You can launch on Clubhouse. Okay, so grab that guide and connect with me. So 3 things I'm going to talk about today. So I already told you, ditch the perfectionism. That's the main thing. The mindset is everything. I'm not a mindset coach. I'm a business strategist. So I'm going to probably approach this a bit more from a how to process step by step kind of methodology. Okay. But I do understand that mindset is everything. And one of the things I have learned is that if you try to be perfect, you're never going to put yourself out there. You always think, I need to do this better. I need to go back on myself and, I don't know, redo everything I've been doing, right? I've seen so many of my clients thinking that way as well. I said, okay, always think back. What have you got now? What's working and what's not working? And when you are deciding, so let's go into sort of number 1, niche. Number 2, how to then create a course or program that fits your niche. And number 3, how you're going to go and launch that without overwhelm, frustration, detours, being perfectionist, self-sabotage. Okay, so let's look at this. So number 1, what's your niche? The best way to think about your niche is to really sit down in a quiet place and brainstorm, journal. Maybe you want to meditate, right? Whatever brings your own answers to the surface, because deep within you is some sort of purpose, something that you are absolutely good at, and something that only you can solve in the way that you do it. Now, I knew, and I come from the corporate space, I was working in large teams, and I always tended to do coaching and training in the corporate space. I always tended to, whenever there was some sort of project like this, I'm like, yeah, I want to do this. And so I realized when I started my own business, and by the way, I didn't do this overnight. It was pretty much just working full time. And I thought to myself, what else can I do that I can sort of just cherry pick the things that I'm super good at and I'm super passionate about, and just go and do that all day long. Because when you do that, when you truly fulfilled, right? You can get up every single Monday and you're not feeling, oh my gosh, I got to get out of bed and do this now, right? So that's where your niche lies. It's what are you deeply passionate about, and who are you mostly attracted to? Like, I know I'm more attracted to women. I've always been thinking about women's empowerment, giving women a voice and a platform where they can be visible. And this is kind of what I've built in my business now. So what is that for you? And you may have a story already behind you. You may have already gone through some challenges in your life where you had to fix something, apply something, and through that journey, you then went to learn something else. Maybe you've gone and got a certification. So what, who were you a few years ago? That's probably kind of your niche in terms of, starting off. I mean, there could be, of course, many, many different people that you can help with. Like, for example, I've been working with a number of hypnotherapists, and through hypnosis and healing, you can heal everyone, really. People who have stress or stop smoking, weight loss, everything. But start with the one thing that you think you are most passionate about, and and the people that you're working with are most aligned with you and the way you work. Like for example, I'm not sure if I can really relate to like really I don't know, 25-year-old men or 60-year-old men. I don't know if I want to work in that space. I'd love to work with female entrepreneurs. That's my thing. So who do you want to work with? And that's where you then create your niche. And that brings me quite nicely into like what I'm going to offer, because obviously if your niche isn't clear, if that doesn't come out very clearly, then obviously you'll be like tearing your hair out, because you could help with weight loss, you could help with stress reduction, you could help with stop smoking, right? Where do you want to get started? Start with the one thing. And there's going to be plenty of people, and you can probably go and do some research and see what kind of Facebook groups are out there, what kind of questions are people actually asking on social media, what questions are people asking on Google. You will be able to determine how big that particular problem actually is by doing some sort of set of research. And then you want to actually create some solution around this particular problem. If it's too small of a problem or not hardly anyone's ever asking about this, then you probably have to question yourself, why are there no programs out there? Is that problem too small, right? The opposite could be true. And a lot of my clients say, well, you know what? I already do the same thing as hundreds of other coaches. This is saturated. Nobody wants what I've got anyway. How am I going to make some sales? Well, actually, the good news is that if there are other coaches doing this kind of thing, obviously there is a market. And there's always a market. And I think there's even more of a market because more people are now coming online, whether they're forced or not, because it's a pandemic, to come and actually learn and do things, programs online rather than offline. But one thing I would say is it's important to stand out from the rest of the coaches. And this is where you might want to formulate some sort of signature strategy, some sort of signature program that has your name written all over the place. My signature program is the Quantum Growth Academy, and it consists of 9 steps to create predictable sales and income for female entrepreneurs. And I have exactly the 9 steps and like a roadmap that is so visual that when people see it, they know it's me. It's not some other business coach. And you can create this by looking at, perhaps you've been coaching one-to-one before, and it's like, now maybe it's time to do a group program, or you want to create a course. So you need to have some sort of way to structure your content. And the content usually comes from, what are the things that I've been solving before? What kind of steps have I applied back then? And how do I build in accountability and success for my client? What are the things that maybe they get stuck with? Well, for example, losing weight, right? People could get stuck with the dieting because obviously it's changing habits. So what can you do in your program and create that signature solution with your stamp on it, and express at the same time that this is so different from anything else out there, and you can clearly explain to your potential clients that this time they're going to make the transformation because you thought of everything. You thought of the fact that they might get stuck at this step, and for this step you have this. Like, for example, for my Quantum Growth Academy, I know one of the things that women are getting stuck is their messaging. So I've created a fill in the blank template, and so it's almost like they can just write that sentence, so they have their elevator pitch there and then. The next thing is like, right, they get stuck in with technology, don't know how to create lead magnets and landing pages and sales pages and websites and all that. Don't worry, we've got you sorted. We'll have a done with you and a done for you version, right? So we know exactly where people are getting stuck, build that into the solution. So that's your course. The one thing I would say is, please don't go away and record a course and create all your PowerPoint slides and your workbooks all in advance. I did that. I did that for a few modules, and I think it took me months. That was like the beginning, 5-6 years ago when I started. And I never launched that course. I still haven't launched that course because it was all in my head. I didn't do any market research. I didn't ask, my clients or potential clients what they needed and how they wanted the information presented. And I guess I became a bit more savvy in time when I thought, what, stop this. I don't want to be spending hours and hours and weeks preparing PowerPoint slides and workbooks. Actually, I'm going to go with an idea. and I'm going to go and share this idea with lots of passion and, like almost like party. I said, hey, I've got this mastermind coming up. Who wants to come and take part? We're going to be building A, B, and C together. And it's like, I don't know, what it was 9 weeks or 12 weeks. And I filled it up within like 2 weeks, just because I had this vision. They asked me, do you have a sales page? I said, no, I don't. I just have a roadmap. I have like the modules lined out, and then we'll do it live, and we have a live Q&A, and you will be able to structure some of the modules because maybe I haven't thought of everything. So that's beautiful to actually run that course together, or at least the first couple of times together with live clients, because it will give you the advantage to actually learn with them and see what questions they have. Maybe some things aren't even clear. Maybe you have done some videos and hopefully you haven't gone and edited things and, made it all smooth. And then maybe they don't even understand, or there's not enough clarity or enough detail in the course. And then you need to go and create some more videos. That could happen to you. So, take it from me. And it's the most quickest way to actually go and create something and put it out there with energy and with passion. If there are comments and questions, I'm not sure I can see them. Good morning. I'm doing this on StreamYard, so forgive me. If you have questions, feel free to leave them under this video. I'll be very happy to jump back. Please do join me in my free Facebook group if you're interested. It's called Launch and Grow Your Online Business. I talk a lot about these kind of things. And also have a little guide. If you are on Clubhouse or you would like to get started, you can download my guide. I've added this to the video. Clubhouse I love Clubhouse. It's a conversational tool. I'm there every Wednesdays at the moment. So 10 o'clock British summer time, and we have a room. We just talk about these kind of things, and one of the things you can do on Clubhouse as well, or any, of course, social media generally, you can do launches. Obviously, that's my third point of what's going to cover. So the first point we covered earlier was about your mindset. It's about ditching the perfectionism. And I think now you know why I'm saying ditch the perfectionism, because I'm just telling you, don't pre-record your course or prepare everything and be perfect before you actually go and launch a program. Okay, so do it with your clients there and then. Perhaps you want to have like a little seed launch. It's called like a beta launch as well, where you can say, actually, I'm running this brand new program. It's for the first time. I'm giving you, I don't know, percentage off, right? And we, as like potential clients, and we can be creating this journey together. And so what I did is I actually just ran the 3-month mastermind. I had an outline, and every week for the next week, so 1 week ahead, I was kind of preparing a couple of bullet points on a slide, and then I presented that. And then we had a Q&A, and my clients gave me some feedback as to what else I could include. And then so I was actually building the course that way. And that's much more smarter than actually doing it in your own sort of 4 walls. You're sort of thinking about it. So you get the feedback and you make money by creating a course as well. And of course, at some point, I had to go and re-record everything and make it all nice. And I upscaled my branding, and, and all this kind of stuff is actually constantly happening. So you might be looking for a way to shortcut some of these things. So as I'm saying, don't create anything sort of upfront in your 4 walls without actually testing it and having enough research. Run it live there and then, and you can then always re-record later on once you're happy with everything. Because I understand some of you might want to have a course there that is completely self-serve, which is amazing, because that's kind of like where your passive income comes in, right? It's where you don't need to do anything more. People can just go through the course. You might want to just consider, is this the only way I want to run my business? Or do you still want to do one-to-ones? Or maybe you want to have some hybrid solutions, which means that you have some group coaching sessions or some one-to-one plus some supplementary videos and workbooks, which obviously works very well. I think sometimes with the self-serve on its own, Yes, the price point will be lower for your customer, but the transformation may not be there. I mean, you know how it is. Like when you buy some sort of video course, you go, sometimes you don't even watch it. And if you do watch it, it may be like there's some questions about implementing in your own business. So the transformation really happens when you can add that touch point. So it's called the value added touch point. It's when you can answer questions, when people have access to you somewhere in the program. So that works best. And so that's the courses. This are courses, yeah. So launches, right? Before you launch, what's a launch? A launch is just a time when you create that momentum. Like you want to really create a focused time when you talk about your program. You know, open up the program. But there is quite a bit of preparation before you can actually launch. The preparation is such that you need to build an audience. Either you create a Facebook group, or you run Facebook ads, or you do podcasts. You do run your own podcast. You may go and speak at other people's podcasts or other whatever speaking events to create that audience. Without an audience, it's going to be hard to launch because nobody will see what you have there. And of course, the different launches, like you can just create a webinar, and you could do like a monthly webinar. You could even run webinars on autopilot. So you could, at some point when you're happy with the webinar and it has to convert, then you can have that as a recorded webinar. And you might want to then, put Facebook ads in front of them, and people will go through that webinar and they can go and buy something. Or you could create a challenge. So it could be, I tend to run 5-day challenges in a Facebook group, and I teach something. And people can really get to know me, like me, and hopefully trust me after 5 days. They might be able and ready to know, okay, I need that support. I want to take the next step in my business. I want to implement. I see the roadmap. And so these are a few ways that where you can actually launch. You can also do a soft launch, like for example, if you're on Facebook Lives, you can mention always a call to action. Hey, connect with me, or I have this program. We're taking students right now. Let's have a call, or here's the sales page and what the price point is. So that was sort of really fast track, as in like finding your niche, or firstly dealing with your mindset, finding your niche, creating a course without the overwhelm, frustration, and doing something within your four walls and not getting the feedback, and maybe people are not buying. So a bit more shortcut in terms of creating a course, and then how you launch. And what's important with the launches, as I already said, is building your audience. And one way building audience is also using Clubhouse. So one of the new apps that's, well, it's not so new anymore, it's a few months, but it's going to come out on Android very soon, or some areas in, I think US, it's already out. So iPhone is definitely out there for everybody. So Clubhouse, it's a fantastic new app where you can go in, you can join rooms, you can join conversations, you can host your own room, you can get your own audience together, share your expertise, and you can launch in there as well. You can share what you do, you can get people to connect with you, get on calls, monetize. If you don't know how to do that, grab my free Clubhouse guide, which I attached to this video. If you want to learn about Clubhouse, there's also a way you can come and join my rooms. I'm running these weekly. We have a Clubhouse collaboration. So if you're interested, you can talk to me about that as well. If you would like to be a speaker in one of my rooms sometime, just hop on the email list. Then we're connected. Download the guide, get yourself set up, and then I will send out an email with the next steps as to how we can connect further and have further conversations. So I hope that was useful. This was about how you can find your niche, deal with your mindset, do some course creation, and do your launches and get really, really visible. So I see you soon. I'm going to hop off now, and I look forward to connecting with you further. maybe on Facebook or Clubhouse. We'll see you soon.